because you guys will never get paid. Are you sure? I told my sister I'm gonna get my money and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get them. No, you're not. No one's ever done it. So are you saying that you don't want to go there and sue them for $10 million because you don't think you would ever come back to these and get these dumb niggas? I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably wouldn't. Why? Man, come on, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Ooh, I'm watching me watch this. He said, come on, man. Hey, what's going on to the two folks that just entered the chat? We are going live. Talking about these old heads. Let me share. We're going to share right on RBR's page, guys. How's it going today? I hope everybody's doing good. Yes. Oh, shit. Man, I wasn't technically ready. Let me get prepared real quick. How's everybody doing? Is that Sugar Bum? Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming, man. I appreciate that. Sugar, when are you going to start your own channel, man? I think you'd be really good at this YouTube thing. You need to start your own channel, like ASAP. You'd be funny and hilarious, I think, personally. So you should start one. No, maybe I should have said old mentality. Maybe I should have said old mentality and not old heads. But I'm kind of an old head too. I'm 43, man. So what up, Kev? What's going on, man? Appreciate y'all coming in. We have been listening to this nut. And I just had to we gotta respond to this dude. We got to respond to this dude. But Sugar Bum, you're kind of right about some of us, but not all of us. We don't all think like this. We realize that it's a new, I won't say a new world, but a new frontier. That things are changing. Like the past few generations, they kind of had it. You don't care if you're kind. Why don't you care? I'm not saying you should care, but I just think you would be really good at it. I mean, you troll. Your trolling is one of the best. Hands down, I gotta give it to you. Yeah, Sugar, you should do it. You should just try it. Nothing beats a failure but a try, as my granddad used to say. You should just try it. See how it goes. See how it fits. But if anybody has a channel, please drop the link. What up, Yeti? Please drop the link in the chat so people in the chat can go and follow you. I like people's channels to grow. I'm not like RBR. So I like people's channels to grow. So if you have a channel, please drop the link in the channel. And please, if you see that link in the channel, go and subscribe and go hit the notification buttons for everybody, okay? But we're gonna be listening to this little review of RBR in the general. Talk for a little hot second. But I was just listening to him currently.
Why? He thinks we're old. He thinks people that know when you lie to
look.
He thinks people that know that are old. People who don't know that are smart. See, I'm smart. What do? I lie to them as soon as they come over there and tell them some lie about you sucking JB Gunner's dick for $5.
Whoa! Why do they keep saying that?
Then that makes them come back.
Why does it keep saying that?
Yeah.
Why?
Donate. See, they come back and donate.
Why?
See, they want to be lied to.
Kev, man, if you want to, please drop your channel in the link, man, so people can go and subscribe, okay?
Tells them the truth.
Okay, man.
They don't really want to hear that. Tell them, Max. Nobody wants to hear that.
This is crazy. This is probably... Why you gonna bring Trail into this, man? Trail been chilling in the cut. I could understand me because, I've been at his neck, but Trail been chilling, man.
No, fuck that. I don't want to talk to the bear and he's telling the truth. Jay, come up, Big Jay.
Man, this is crazy. But
fuck RBR. I don't want to hear RBR.
I don't think they really.
Oh, okay.
Turn this down a little bit.
Come on up, Big Jay.
I don't think some older folks realize that we're in a new frontier. Like it's not how it was 2 and 3 generations ago when you could kind of sustain that old mentality from 2 generations ago. It's a whole new vast field. I mean, young people are getting at the money way quicker than we ever did. And I think some older people are just mad at that. And I think RBR happens to be one of these old heads. Appreciate that. It did him in. Hey, I can't wait till I'm gonna try and stay on as long as he can come over and I can put him in the back a little bit. You know what I mean, Tim? Give him a taste of his old medicine. What's up, 300? How you doing, man? Make sure you drop that link in the chat, of course. You know how we go. Excuse me. Thank you guys for coming. As always, I appreciate you guys, man. We did have a good stream last time, and I just want to thank all of y'all, because without y'all, I wouldn't be doing this. So I'm thankful and I'm grateful and I appreciate y'all, man. Even if it's 7 or 1,700, I appreciate you guys. So thank you again. Hey, what's going on, TSI? How you doing today? Good stream you had the other day too. I checked that out. Appreciate the come up. Appreciate the pull up, all y'all. Let's listen a few more seconds. Is it?
99% of black people are smarter than you. 99%.
Yeah, it's their future, man. Like, we should be, if anything, we should be trying to lace them with as much game as we can, and then try and learn from them the game that they know. Like I thought that's what we were supposed to do. It's supposed to be a fair exchange of information, especially with the young, the older folks teaching younger folks, because that's how I really came up. I had a lot of old heads that would pull me to the side, be like, yo, boy, do it this way, do it that way. Stop doing it. Then sometimes I didn't listen, but I didn't do what they say. Always listen to what they say, because you can always learn something from anyone, even a fool. Even a fool, you learn what not to do. So that is the thing. Like, and I don't think a lot of these old heads realize that they still operating on that 1980, 1990 type of mentality, where it was different. It was a little bit harder for us, but now things are more integrated and things move 3 times as fast. 3 times as fast as they used to back then. Like, you think about it. Back then, before the breakout of the internet, you were lucky to maybe see 100,000 people in your life. Maybe. And I'm not even talking, I'm just talking about like on TV and stuff like that. But with the World Wide Web, you can see 100,000 people in a day, every day. 100,000 different people. If you know, you really own it. But we are so much more connected than we were even in the past 30 years. I mean, it's amazing and frightening at the same time. And I think some people don't really realize that, or they're afraid of it. As we're going to a little bit.
The motherfucker ain't gonna win no championship in boxing with the name Muhammad Ali. You ain't gonna win shit with a name like that, man. But no, Muhammad Ali's mother didn't name him Muhammad Ali. She named him Captain.
See, this how I know I'm getting old and shit. This shit right here, man, I shaved Wednesday. This shit is back already. It's back already. But I can't get a fucking beard for nothing. But those are my problems, not the world. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Tim. Look how they pick it up so fast. I'm sorry, he said my name, so I had to stop.
He might become president. Shit, if you name him conscious moron, he might become president. Shit. Bust him in the head and give him a traumatic brain injury, and the motherfucker might be good.
You have to laugh at him, though. You literally have to laugh at this dude, man. He's funny. I won't hate. He is funny.
If he told the truth.
He's definitely funny, but he's way fucking off. Suda, what's going on? What's going on, Miss FedEx? Thank you guys for coming.
How do you feel about being the only one telling the truth? It sucks. That's what I was trying to tell Max. Man.
You absolutely right on that one, man. You right on that one. I like that one. Everybody read that one right there. And Miss FedEx, please drop your son's gaming channel. This is not the RBR channel. We're going to promote your son's channel, and we're going to. I think he is monetized already, right? So please, man, make sure if y'all have a channel, drop it in the link for me, okay? So everybody can go and share, and please hit that like button, please. Please hit that like button.
They need both.
Please hit that like button. What up, Joe? Appreciate the pull up, man. As always, I appreciate that pull up, y'all.
$100 billion over the next 10 years. Fuck, killing them.
He said.
After we get the $100 billion.
I'm gonna type something real quick, guys. Give me 1 sec. Y'all go ahead and
Darren Starr does not know you. Yes, he does. Why? He reached out to me. Oh, baby was like, "What happened to Star?" I said, "We still cool." Well, yeah. Well, no, tell him the truth, Darren. It's okay. Well, he said, they like Amber Rose. I said, okay, put Amber Rose.
Man, I don't know, Tim.
I said, well, Star.
I don't know if we're gonna do a all day one.
Doesn't have anything to do with Amber Rose. No, the stream is about
all day one. We might have to though.
Go ahead and put her up there since they like her.
We might have to.
But no,
we might have to do it all day.
No, they don't like FedEx. She's Miss FedEx. She's ugly. She looks like.
And then he talk.
She looks like Beachy X. They don't get it.
See, that's the thing. He talk about people and never came up. Like, I mean, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to show all my flaws. It's only a few. It's literally only like 1 or 2, like this. But I can just shave this off. But I'm saying, how I was raised, we used to play a game called The Dozens. That's where we would talk about each other. And I couldn't talk about you if I didn't see you, and vice versa. I talked about your flaws, but I didn't get mad at them. You know what I'm saying? That's how you grow thick skin. But it seems like a lot of people nowadays don't have. We still too young before I put him out. Yes, a lot. Okay. I'm sorry, Miss. We gonna hold off. Then we gonna hold off on Miss FedEx. No problem. We don't want to, No, don't rush. Don't make them try and grow up too fast. Definitely don't want that. Ooh, excuse me. But I hope everybody's Friday is going well. If your Friday is going well, please put a 2 in the chat. What up, Chef? Chef, please, man, drop your channel in the chat. You know how it go, baby. I mean, I'm not saying baby like that, but you know what I mean. Drop that link in the chat, y'all. As you can see it up there, drop the link in the chat so we can grow and sub and support each other. Because that's what we literally supposed to be doing on here. I mean, it's real. It seems like it would be easy to get on doing this, but it really isn't. But I go to some people's pages and they blow up like that. You can't be mad at them. You just got to grind it out. I assume you just got to grind it out. But that's a good thing. So we here and we gonna grind it out with everybody, and we gonna all rise to the top like we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like really make this black YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. But what I don't understand is why are these older cats mad at these young dudes? Let them get their money, man. Show them, and then show them some shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I was fortunate and lucky to have some good older heads around me, man. But it seemed like the older heads nowadays, they mad and they jealous of these young dudes, man. For real, I've been seeing these young dudes get that money, and they've been getting it legit. We should be big up in these dudes. They using the internet, social media. I'm sure some doing dirt. Of course, that's with any part of life. You got to take the good with the bad. But a lot of these people, these young folks are doing it legitly, man. And they building a legacy for themselves. We should be trying to lace them, telling them about generational wealth and how to save their money and, control their spending. We shouldn't be mad at them that they get money. We should be like, go ahead, do that, man. Do that. You know what I'm saying? One of my homeboys' nieces, she started a little shop up where I'm from in Ohio, man. She getting that dope. She getting that. We proud. Everybody proud of her, man. And that's how it should be. She doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But let's take a little more listen. As soon as I stop.
Jessica X.
Ooh, I'm in Tommy and Jessica X, man. Let me get like that. Let me get that money. Because they getting that money. But it just seems like they getting that money by being negative. And And I'm not saying I can't be negative, but it's hard to keep all that negativity around all the time, man. I don't want to do that. I want to laugh and have fun, and we can still have a discussion. Still have a discussion, but the way that RBR talks, like, let me give you an example. Alexa, what's the word of the day?
Okay, here is the word of the day from the SAT Word of the Day skill.
Today's SAT prep word of the day is alleviate. It means to make something easier to deal with or endure. It's spelled Alleviate. Here's how you use alleviate in a sentence. Ibuprofen may help alleviate your headache. If you're enjoying your SAT word of the day, check out our high-scoring Scrabble and Words with Friends word of the day skill. Just ask Alexa to open Scrabble word of the day for help beating your word game competition.
Now, 20 years ago, I would have had to literally look that word up myself. But now I can just ask Alexa a question and she's going to do it. Well, not every
Ask
single thing.
away.
Not yet. Not Alexa. Not yet. But I'm saying you could ask a device a question and it can give you the answer. Like we didn't have that luxury. So a part of me is a little jealous, but we have to appreciate that innovation, man, and just think what these young kids can do. And hopefully some are using it that skill. Man, I remember my mother would make me look up a word in the dictionary. I used to hate that shit so much. But I appreciate it now. But like I'm saying, things have moved. We've progressed. And I think a lot of these old heads don't really realize that. And if they do, they mad at that fact. Why be mad at that fact? You know what I'm saying? Why even be mad at that? We should appreciate it. Like I said, try and soak up as much game from them as they soak up from us. It should be an even exchange of information. How hard is that? But let's go back to the culinary for a second.
Charlamagne and them motherfuckers, Hot 97. He said, I went to Hot 97 and I had a 2-year contract. And when my contract was up, I said, I want $2 million. And they said, man, we ain't paying you $2 million. She said, okay, I quit. Now, they said,
I really don't have to say.
I don't know, maybe $10 million or some stupid ass shit. They gave him some money and said, now, for the next however many years, I don't know, I don't want to lie to you, you cannot be in a competing market. You got to be on the West Coast or Atlanta somewhere, right? Which is why he moved to Atlanta. Why? He could not be in the New York area. What'd he do? The motherfucker went to Philadelphia and signed a deal for $1 million with a radio station. And what happened? Their signal goes right into New York and New Jersey. And they sued him. And he showed the papers. And what did they say? His net worth is $16 million. He got some grocery stores and shit. He used to be on MTV. He got some lots, grocery stores, and all kind of shit. I'm not playing. And he wants you to tell everybody about his parking, his lots.
If anybody wants to join the chat, man, come on up. I just had to get that little 20, that little diatribe off my chest, man. I just think it's kind of, it's harmful to us as a community if we don't share information freely and be real with these young folks, man. I don't know why I use the stream services there. It was quick, so I just hopped on something real quick.
Give it up what you need, right? No. See, look, he loaded up some content, 10 minutes thrown together, attacking me, lying.
He can attack people, but he can't handle the attack. Like my dad used to say, if you gonna swing, you gonna get swung on, boy.
Intimidated, everybody's scared. He's smarter than everybody.
It's the rule. It's the rule. You swing, you getting swung on, boy. And he was swinging. No, let me stop.
They know that. I'm not trying to just help myself. Really? No.
The lies.
I don't deserve to get paid unless you guys get paid.
Oh, the lies.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Really.
So there you have it. The Real Brother Radio Show. Really? Yes.
No, it's not. So
I'm gonna try to come back tonight, man, and let you guys have some more truth. All right.
Hmm.
All right.
All
Real
right.
Weather Radio shows the production
All
of the
right.
real.
All right. But what I was really interested in was this talk that they were having earlier. I was at work and was kind of listening in. I was in and out, but I couldn't really hear everything. So let's.
And some will say, hey,
Let's
man,
take
I
a
really
listen.
appreciate it. Like, I got a couple that on my birthday that's getting ready to come up. I always get a message or a phone call and say, hey, Top, I really appreciate everything you did for me and my family, man.
Bring them on.
I think back to 20
Bring 'em
years
on.
ago when we first met. If I hadn't had a leader like you, man, a person like you in my life, man, because I didn't have a father. That's personal satisfaction for me. It ain't that he does it. It's the fact that he acknowledged the fact that what I was able to give, put into him, helped him become a better person, which will ultimately help his child become a better, or his children become better people. That's what you're talking about.
See, this is what I was just talking about.
Whether I get paid for it or not, I just want to do it.
Maybe I
Whether
Okay, go ahead.
whether I get pussy from her or not, it should not stop me from wanting to say, hey, sister, you know, I think you're making a mistake right here. If I were you, I wouldn't have another child. I would go on and go to college. But you know what you get in return? Nigga, mind your motherfucking business. Who the fuck you talking to? Fuck what you talking about, nigga. I'm grown. I do what the fuck I want to do. So when you get...
Well, technically, you are in a business, but I'm not getting the whole context of this particular part of the story. But if she didn't ask you, why would you tell her? Why would you even care what she said? Do you see what I'm saying with these old heads? They're not used to this rejection type shit, man.
When that's said to you enough, when do you not throw your hands up and say, I tried, you're on your own?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying,
I tried.
Yeah.
Well,
I
had a female soldier, and I'm giving you real quick. I had a female soldier. She made Sergeant E5. She was progressive. She came on as a private. She was really good, a good soldier, really good at her job. She was in finance. She was really good at her job.
Break that
And she messed around and got pregnant by a little dude that, you know, he wasn't hitting on shit. He was just out. He just wanted to hit it. And that's what he did. And she got pregnant. So she then came to me for counsel, and she said, hey, you know, at the time I was a first sergeant. She was like, hey, first sergeant, I think I'm just going to get out of the Army. And I said, why? I said, don't get out of the Army. I said, because this is how you're taking care of yourself and your child. So let me give you some resources. You know, they have daycare on the installation. You can continue your military career, and, you know, you can do this, this, and this. She listened. Now she's a fucking warrant officer. She's got over 20 years. She's going to retire here real soon.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
She listened. So now her child has an opportunity, 17-year-old young lady, beautiful, who's going to college, who did not have a child, who
Jesus Christ. What's going on, big dog? Trail, you hear me? We hear you, Trail. Come in.
I'm in the show.
I can hear you a little bit. What's going on with you?
All right, what about now?
I got you now.
All right, what's good, bro?
Chilling, man. How you doing today?
I'm chilling too, bro. I just been at the house. I'm about to hit the store in a little bit. I'm just kicking back, relaxing, bro.
What we're going to get at the store, man? What you going to
You
the liquor store?
already know what I'm going to get, man.
Please don't say no Hennessy.
Huh?
Please don't say no Hennessy.
Oh, heck nah, man. I don't be touching that horse stuff no more. I don't mess with that.
What up, AC? Hey, AC, man, drop your channel in the link so people can go and sub to your shit, man. And if you want to, I don't know if I still got the thing up there, but it should be in the chat somewhere if you want to pull up on us, man. You know.
Yeah, it should still be like 3 messages above. I can't see the chat.
Yeah, it should still be in there though. It should still be in there though. But what's going on with you, man? Like, did you hear the whole show? I was kind of listening to a little bit at work.
Today's show?
Yeah.
I came in probably like, I don't even know how late I was to it. All I know is I came in, you know, everybody was in there, RBR in the general, talking about how you teach the next generation. So I don't know how much I missed, but I mean, I seen majority of it.
Yeah, it seems like they have kind of a disconnect with, I don't know if it's technology or just a little envy, because I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit older. I'm not as quite as old as them, but I call myself at times being a little bit envious of how these young folks was getting on. Like, but I'm like, I shouldn't be mad. That's what the young people supposed to do. They're supposed to be better than the last generation. So,
Yeah,
kind of understand what he's saying a little. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I kind of get the gist of where those feelings come from, but you got to lace them, man. You got to lace these young folks, man. We should be teaching them to do better than we did.
right. I agree because the way I look at it, I always said, I came after my father. I'm the next one up. What I want is for my child to be the successor of my story. It's just like when you make a movie and then you get a sequel and maybe even a third sequel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's all about passing on that success and keeping that legacy going.
Definitely, man, definitely. But it seems like they kind of want to still like be in that youthful position, which I understand. Like I said, I'm a little older, so I understand. But it's daytime now; it's not ours. We just kind of gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, let them take the forefront and just start and just try and help them out as much as we can. But it seems like they want to, like, since their life went bad, they think other people's lives are gonna go bad. It's real funny and crazy, man.
It is. But
It's
what a lot of my fault, go ahead.
oh, go ahead, man.
What I was gonna say, what a lot of people don't realize though, what you go through that's bad in your life, it's not just for you. It's also for you to learn from that and pass it on to somebody else so they don't repeat the same mistakes that you made.
Definitely, definitely.
So I mean,
No, I'm
even if
sorry,
stuff,
man. Go
now
ahead.
you just saying real quick, even if stuff went wrong for them in the past, that's still experience that they have that they can turn into wisdom and knowledge and pass down to us. So
Right.
then we can use that for our future. And then we can
Definitely.
pass that down to the next ones coming up after us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how I kind of learned about racism from my older folks. Like my uncle, man, my great uncle was like 65 when I was born, and he would just sit down and tell me stories of, like, because we was in Ohio, but my family originally from Alabama. And I'm
Yeah,
like, how did you end up in Ohio? He was like, you know what I'm saying? It was racist down there, and some white man was trying to attack my sister, and I beat his ass, and they was gonna kill me. I had to leave. I'm like, what? But you know what I'm saying? And just going as I got older, I started kind of not going through the same experience, but I started, like, okay, now I understand what my uncle was saying about how people, you know what I'm saying? How I won't say all white people, but some white people view us. You know what I mean? It's life lessons that you might not even realize they giving you, but it comes back. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I don't think a lot of these old heads want to give these young folks the tools that they have because they're gonna surpass them. And you know what I'm saying? Don't know. I won't say don't know. Don't people don't like to be surpassed, but in our community, it seems like it's the crab in the barrel mentality. I don't want you to get no more further than I am, type shit, man. And that shit is weak.
it is. It really is.
This is Trail. I mean, not Trail, but Azure. Azure,
Hey, what
What's
up,
up?
bro?
what's going
Yo,
on,
what's
man?
going on?
The youth,
Yeah,
as we
nothing
speak.
much.
Look, you see what I'm saying? Here come the youth
Yeah.
right there.
Yo, what's good, guys? Good.
Chilling, man. How you doing today?
Chopping it up with
Yeah,
Con Run.
yeah, you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna start calling all my friends and supporters the Con Squad.
Hey, that worked though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Dude, your boy JB Gunner got Gun Squad, Con
Oh,
Squad.
do we? The Gun
Hey,
Squad.
hey, how about Recon?
You going into that Call of Duty stuff right there.
Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something, Azure. What do you think the difference is between your generation and kind of the older generations?
We're fucking insane.
You said what now?
We're fucking insane.
Y'all in sync? I can't hear you. You going in and out.
We're insane.
The younger generation is insane?
Yeah, my generation's insane.
Wow. Do you think the older generation is insane?
Oh, not as insane as our.
What's going on, AC?
What's good, bro? Let me turn this camera off.
What up, bro?
Well,
What up, bro? What up? What up, Trail? What up, Azor?
Hey,
yeah.
Mr. Arthur.
Now, you see, that's nothing but respect right there. He had a good mind. What's going on, Shatir? How you doing today? AC, you kind of been listening to what I'm saying. You kind of feel what I'm saying a little bit, man.
Yeah, I don't get into that, man. Like I told you, Con, when I first ran into you, bro. I try to stay away from all these terrible ass conversations they be trying to have, man. The shit just be like made up shit. You know what I mean? Just people with their own personal gripes. It's either I don't get no women, or I don't like light skinned people, or I ain't into none of that shit, man. Like that shit is all a bunch of bogus bullshit, man. Like I don't get into that shit, man. I don't get into the motherfuckers who talk about old heads. I don't get into the old heads who talk about young people. I don't get into none of that shit. For one, I have kids that's in their 30s. I'm in my late 40s. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the street with young cats. I respect all people. As long as you respect me, I respect you. I don't get into ageism, faceism. I don't get into none of that shit, man. Like, I think all this shit is a bunch of bunk and a bunch of shit to distract us from the real shit that's going on in the world. We can't never have real conversation. They always get dragged into some howdy doody bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm not telling Shatira. I'm not telling.
But you know something? You know something? Like, every time we have like we try to have a decent conversation, there's always like something like just one person trying to, start shit, trying to beef, like this whole beef nonsense. It's just nonsense. Like, what's the point in beefing on the internet? This is a virtual world, man. I don't know what that's about.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of y'all who grew up in the virtual world, so it ain't really virtual to y'all. It's y'all's world. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of us old heads kind of had to go outside and play in the real world. Y'all don't really have to do that. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Compared to
But
how we had to go outside, y'all could kind of just stay in. I want to say the internet raised y'all, but it was a nice babysitter. It was a 24-hour babysitter for sure, or it had
but
the
you know,
potential to do that.
like being on the virtual world and all that stuff, like that really it corrupts your mind. You're unaware of like what's going on in the real world. So I had to cut that shit out. I'm off like what Sundays and Wednesdays, so those are the days I get because I'm working money, doing what I need to do better.
You went in and out.
Oh shit, fuck. Let me take these headphones.
Hey, see, it's sunny up where you at, man. Nice and warm.
It ain't warm, nigga. It's sunny, but it ain't warm.
Hey, same here. It's sunny, but it ain't warm. It's cold out there
It's
too.
Can y'all hear me
18
now?
degrees. But
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
look.
we got you.
The crazy shit is this weekend is gonna be like 80 degrees Monday, like 70 something Friday Sunday, and like 80 degrees Monday. That's why I got a fucking cold now. Fucking weather don't want to act right.
Mm-hmm. I remember that north in the wintertime, boy. I'm not mad that I'm not up there no more. It's nice, like 76 where I'm at. Beautiful.
Hey,
Nah,
Conscious, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, but sorry I was going in and out, but but what I was saying is like ever since like I've been on the virtual world, like on this YouTube shit, like it's
Mm-hmm.
been plaguing my mind, like it's been corrupting me. So I knew I had to like do something with my life, and I just got out into the real world, got a job, and I'm working, getting that money, and just finding myself, and I'm doing pretty good, and my like my spirit, my is like healthy, man. But all this being on the internet all day, trying to protect people you can't fucking do that. Like, how you gonna protect somebody on a computer screen? I don't get that shit. You know,
Right.
I mean, you
just
can
Wow.
trying to
defend
like,
over the internet,
but
but not
so
protect.
this is what I've been talking about on my previous stream, like this whole protection thing. I think people are just going overboard with that shit. I don't think anybody knows what protecting something or somebody is.
It really is because actually a good example of that would be like the sisters that be saying black men this and black men that. Like y'all say y'all standing up for black women, trying to protect black women, but really over the internet you just talking. You ain't really doing nothing to really make changes out here.
Right. And like I mean, this whole big talk about protecting black, look, They just say this for clicks and views and all that shit. They don't care about these black women. All right. And look, you don't need protection from somebody who doesn't give a shit. Okay. You know, if you want protection, you're gonna have to learn how to defend yourself. And I don't mean to sound like a dick, but you got to learn how to protect yourself. Do your research on people, the kind of people that you hang around with, and be smart. Okay. Don't be hanging around with people who are toxic and are just dangerous. Because a lot of people have tendencies of doing that shit, and that's gonna really get you messed up.
Right. Kev, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
What up, Kev?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How y'all making out?
All right, all right. Appreciate the pull up.
Yeah. I'm gonna check in on your conscious.
Yeah,
Look, the thing as far as the title with the youngsters, man, it's their future, man. They kind of grooming it the way they see fit, and you got to respect that. You remember, in our years, we always see some of the older cats hate on the youngsters. You remember they hated on Jordan. They hated on LeBron being 19, coming in the league, 60 million, too much money. How does too much money, man? Let the young man get his money. They definitely operate a whole lot different than we do. That's a fact. But they got a lot of doors open for them. That's why I see the glass as half full. Hell, you could damn near make money in at your house now. Shit, we thought the guy playing video games and drawing those avatars of Conan the Barbarian and shit and all that kind of stuff was silly. But now there's a market for everything. And then a lot of them taking advantage of it, even the street niggas. I got to give them that.
That's exactly what I was saying, man. A lot of these young people know how to get to this money a lot faster than we ever could have got to that money.
I don't think that they know how to get to it. I think that the applications and the opportunities to get to it are vastly upgraded than when we did it. Like when we was young, it was paper routes, hustling, fast food restaurants. Like I just think that the evolution of society and technology, like we're in a technological age, kind of drifting away from that into a more nanotech age and a more succinct tech age. And I just think it's the advancement of society, and I don't think we should bemoan them for taking advantage of the opportunities that's in front of them. I don't think that it's wrong for them to make money doing something that they passionate about. You know what I'm saying? And I think those who criticize them, it's just a sense of jealousy and hate and you young people get off my lawn. You know what I'm saying? It's just basically that simple.
Yeah. Like they say, experience is the best teacher, man. But I don't know. It's just funny, man. I just find it funny at times that the older folks don't kind of want to give the lessons that they had, that people gave them. You know what I mean?
I think that just happens in our community. I don't think that's society wide. I think in other communities, and the crazy part about it is, if people began to be pro-black, they would understand that the oral tour passing down traditions comes from us. See, what we miss is a lot of things that other cultures use to make themselves better. It comes from us. But since so many of us don't want to get old, don't want to be black, don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? So we're breaking the connection that we need to like make our community and our culture better because we're trying to pick up all these other cultures and what we see as success for them. They are using our methods and methodologies for success.
Yeah, we're the trendsetters. We are definitely the trendsetters.
I'm saying it bigger than trendsetters. I'm saying cultural trendsetters. I'm not just saying like popular culture. I'm talking about literally human culture, human civilization. Most other cultures that are non-black travel to black and African countries to learn particular things to take back to their culture for their survival.
True.
I agree with that. And see, this is my thing, especially coming from New Orleans and Louisiana. We had that old Southern saying. He said, "Well, when Harriet Tubman helped free the slaves, ain't none of them turn around and help and come back to help." See, I think they get implemented in mainstream America and forget to pass down that knowledge and information, like you just said, what the other cultures do. When some of these middle class dudes, when they start a business, they put their kids on. and teach them how to do the shit from the ground up. And that's what we didn't do. I have an aunt who has a master's in accounting and shit like that, and work for a Fortune 500 company, right? Managing hundreds of millions of dollars. Eastman Kodak, right, out there in Texas. But my mom, who cleaned homes and stuff like that, who did domestic work, right? Sat with autistic adults. Instead of her showing her how to get all the tax advantages by starting an LLC, she just sit there and talk about how good she doing.
Right.
I had to go out there and tell my mom, look, mom, you could write this off and shit like that. So not helping out because she just wanted to be the top dog in the family kind of shit. That kind of stuff there is a problem with the Black community. Everybody else pass the knowledge on, especially Asians and other races.
Because we don't want competition. We don't want competition. We want a lot of Black people always want to have the upper hand on other Black people so that they can go back. See, it's a lot of this is based off of having relationships and getting approval from the greater white society. So a lot of times when you have people like your aunt, it's just so she can go back and have a conversation with her white counterparts about how she's not sharing that knowledge. But she'll say it in a derogatory way, like, oh, they don't know what the hell they talking about. I wish I would waste my time trying to teach them, thinking that we won't learn it or we don't have the ability, to pass it on or to comprehend it or absorb it.
Yeah, and see, that can work to our advantage. See, one of my things is let them go ahead, let society go ahead and think we dumb or whatever and behind and stuff like that. See, that give us an advantage because they don't see us coming. While we also picking up on all the shit that they do. But one of the things I had a discussion with, I think it was one of the Mansfield youngsters, he was like, man, y'all dropped the ball. I said, man, we didn't drop the ball. We took a whole lot of hits in the 80s and 90s and shit like that cleared a whole lot of way. Y'all wide open. Y'all don't really have much to complain about because y'all got so much opportunity what y'all can do. Shit, we was kind of stuck in in a frame. We ain't had the internet where we could communicate and reach out and learn from our house. We had to go to libraries and shit. So glass half full, man. But definitely. I don't hate on the youngsters. They doing it. They doing their thing.
Definitely.
Now some of them frame of mind kind of throw it off, like talking to one dude, man. I was like, dude, you go literally wait till you make $100,000 to start looking for an old lady? That don't make no fucking sense, man. What you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, come on, but you got to be realistic, if you and see they arguing points with that gender war shit. The younger folks, male and female, it's silly. They gonna get caught up. And because when you repeat that same shit over and over for years, at some point you start to believe it, and some of the people you're around start believing it, and that's just not everyday life. You can work with somebody and build whatever you want. Whenever you decide, you ain't got to wait to be a fucking Kevin Samuels to do that. So that's why I don't get those. That's why I don't really get into those gender wars and all that conscience.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. It's good women is bad women is bad man is good man. You know what I mean? You just got to take people for who they are as an individual, not generalize. I think that's all.
Right. Yeah, I don't believe in kicking the youngsters in the ass, because the man just trying to get on and especially for boys. Right. Boys got to figure shit out. Until we get into a solid situation where we can make a little change, and that take time. You can't expect no 22-year-old to hold it down like a nigga back in the 50s and 60s, or 25-year-old. That's a building process. They got to understand that, and the girls got to understand that.
I'm wondering. I remember this program was called 100 Black Men. I wonder what happened to that, man.
It still exists, but it's that I don't know. Them guys are I don't know. I think Information Man a part of that. I think he a part of that in Cali. I think it still exists. I think it still exists.
Yeah, because I would kind of remember that, and even the Urban League, like it's programs out there, but like I think as men, our pride kind of get in our way, and we don't want to admit that we need help at times. You know what I mean? Like we don't know something. We just gonna try and figure out and stumble and then mess up and then blame everybody else after you fall. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta humble yourself and be like, you know what? I don't know this. I'm gonna try and I need your help. You know what I'm saying? I think that's hard for as a man, especially in America, to say, especially us, man. I just think it's a hindrance.
I don't think it's us necessarily. I think that's something that is like, how can I put this? I don't think it's necessarily that we don't want to ask for help. I think that we don't know how to ask for help, right? We don't know where to turn to get help. You know what I mean? Because it's all depending on what your environment is and your support system. So I think, and it also goes to, you know, that whole notion of man up, you can do it yourself, pull yourself. It's just a lot of things we've been bombarded with, indoctrinated with, that just gives us like this apprehension to seek help. Like, oh, I could do it myself, but we lost. We don't want to use Google. So it's just more of a manly thing than I think it's just like a societal manly thing that I think is the individual thing, and we just get caught up in it. Because behind closed doors, niggas ask for help. Whether it's that fat chick you knocking off, whether it's one of your brothers, your mom,
mama, family,
grandmother, niggas ask for help. Keep it 100. Niggas ask for help.
Even when they don't help, they don't ask. I mean, you're still under someone's roof, you know, and stuff like that. That's help until you get on your feet, you know, till you establish your independence. You know, if you know someone, you know, that's still help. But you got to acknowledge it. See, I firmly believe if you appreciate it, then you can keep moving on.
I think the thing that lacks in our community is education and seriousness. I think we're not a serious, mature people. I think that's why we're so fascinated by all of the hubbub that go on in this space. I think that's why we're like moths in a flame. Like we see all this, you know what I'm saying? We see all this nonsense going on and we just run to it. And if somebody's really teaching or really talking about something high-minded, we really don't stick to it. We kind of just stick to like, you know, men, women, age, just simple shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't try to advance who we are in our thinking. Like I was just saying it's sad because I was just watching this white channel, right, that was talking about the war, and he had like 800 people in the box. And the comments and the things that I pay attention to and the programs that I use to dissect the war and gather information is the same thing he's using, right? And I'm saying like, damn, look, you know what I mean? But the minute I said something, it was like I got blocked, right? Like I'm black. And then when I come on the black side, ain't nobody talking about this shit. Motherfuckers,
right.
You want to talk about some other shit. You know what I mean? I'm coming to fuck with Constance because that's my man, but I don't really give a fuck about ageism or old heads and all that. That shit is a bunch of bunk to me. But I'm coming to fuck with my man, so that's what's
I appreciate that. So what y'all think about the war? Especially, Kev, let me ask you, do you think that that Russia's trying to switch their currency, or Putin rather, is trying to switch his currency to digital? I heard something about that.
Well, that ain't gonna fly if he trying to, you know, I'm on that Bitcoin shit. It ain't gonna fly too much with Russia because they done. Those sanctions go put a hole in the economy. You know, everything done. You know, they can't even get Russia's in a dog show right now. So the whole idea is to put the pressure on the people. Right. As far as Putin, Russia ain't got shit. They got no economy. They got a little oil, but that's not enough to generate a whole country. Now, Putin, one of them dudes, he got the flex for his country to show a sense of power, you know. So he you know, like the propaganda videos, he sent videos to his people saying that, you know, Ukraine attacking them, you know, that kind of shit. Now he wants the land and stuff. And I think what sparked that is when Trump was in office, you remember Israel took over the Palestinian shit and pushed them back and went all out on their ass.
Right.
So they got that land and nobody did shit, you know, and the random people and what they did is they control the olive fields now. And that's real money, you know, that's olives are, you know, they make money. That's their thing. So Russia doing it. Next, you're gonna have China trying to take over one of the islands, you know, that they had. So it's a power move now because the United States in turmoil.
Yeah, but Ukraine got a lot of minerals. They do have a lot of minerals over there.
Yeah, maybe you want to control that. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. What you think, AC? You think he gonna go nuclear? I think you were saying earlier, you think he just using it as kind of a chip to have in his pocket?
I think with Putin, I think what we're missing, well, in my personal opinion, I really think this is really about him reestablishing the USSR. Like everybody keep going to the resources thing and the resources underneath the ground in Ukraine or whatever. But I think a lot of people miss the fact that Russia controlled Ukraine from 1917 until 1994 when they sought their independence through America. And the only reason why Russia lost Ukraine is because they went broke fighting the war in Afghanistan. And I think the geopolitical strategy of Putin is to really not try to get the western part of Europe to become brown, like it's browning, like Poland, Germany, Italy, France. Those countries are accepting a lot of non-white immigrants, a lot of non-white people coming in to educate themselves. Like Ukraine has like O'Shea Duke Jackson is in Ukraine studying to be a doctor, right? There's a lot of Africans there, and I think what we missed in all this is the traditional Cold War white nationalist standpoint of both countries, of a white empire called America and a once thriving white empire called the USSR. I think we try to put it into what we think the resources and things like that. They may be piece and particles of it, but I think the overall thing is for him to establish the USSR, similar, based on what Kev just said about there being, racial animus, political animus in America. So it's like, he's seeing that America is weakened in a sense. He knows if a world war was to jump off, there's a preponderance of white people who wouldn't go to war for Joe Biden, point blank, right? And he understands that. He's a KGB officer. He's studied America. His whole purpose in life is to make America fall. And I think a lot of us don't, and this is what I'm saying about us understanding the geopolitical realm of the world and where we're at in the world, because as this war is playing itself out, we're just like, resources, and it's more about white civilization. I said this earlier, that Trump being elected was a cue to Russia to begin the white nationalist global coalition. Right. So where all of them come together and have like this one unified situation going on. And I think that's what he's doing. And it was politically correct. It was fashionable to cheer Putin on, but as the propaganda, because this is the crazy thing, right? Like we talk about Russia's propaganda, but if you look at American media or you look at any media outside of Russia, they're all saying the same thing. Everyday message is the same. Like at the beginning of the week, it's going to fall in 4 days. When that didn't happen, Ukraine is putting up a great fight. They're doing the best they can. Then it's like the CIA is studying. I mean, listen to the language that they use. Listen to the language that the media is using. The language that they're using is the same language they use to vilify black freedom fighters. The same language, right? If they're using CIA intelligence to say, well, he's going mad. He's a madman, right? He's this, he's that. So just pay attention to the language and the propaganda that you're hearing from both sides, because in this war, there is no objectivity. It's either you're with Russia or you're with America. And that's where I'm not on either side. I don't give a fuck. To me, it's white on white crime at the highest level. Right? And I'm just watching it. I just want to see a good fight. That's it.
You think if he get backed into a corner though, he gonna try and do something like with the nukes though? Because Russia kind of hit a nuclear plant today.
Well, him taking back the nuclear plants is taking back what was given to them by the USSR. See, this is what we're missing. Those nuclear plants were put there when Ukraine belonged to Russia. So they're actually Russian nuclear plants.
Oh, okay? See, I didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. We got to look at that. And that's
let me ask you something, A. Did you ever hear rumors? I mean, like somebody was did you ever hear anything? Well, we know Russia didn't want them to join the UN.
Right.
Because then, and in that case,
you mean NATO, not the
nuclear
you mean NATO, not the UN. You mean NATO.
NATO, yeah. And then they could put weapons right there in the Ukraine.
And that's what it is, Kev. Yeah. That's what it is, bro. Why would you want your enemy to have weapons right in your front yard? Fuck your backyard, in your front yard. So when you come out the house every day, it's all kind of spy vehicles, all kind of shit. Like, think about this. America was able to fly surveillance planes throughout Ukraine to just take pictures of everything that Russia was doing. Like, like that in itself is like, okay, I can't have that. Like me and you in conscious, we not gonna be beefing with a nigga and then the next day he moved next door. Like nigga, it's really on now. Right? Like we not coming outside and seeing you next door, nigga. It's on and popping. And that's where we at with it. The last thing he needs is for Ukraine to join NATO. If they join NATO, it's not checkmate, but it's check.
It's a prime example of that is when Russia was about to move weapons to Cuba. No, indeed, you can't do that.
Right, it's the same exact thing. The Cuban Missile thing, right? And it was Russia saying, we gonna have you in check now. And that's all that Ukraine move is, being in check.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's a good point. It's a good point. I never thought about that. But yeah, it's just a crazy time in the world, man. I seen that this morning. I'm like, uh-oh.
But here's the thing, Conscious. Shit, we've been at war for over 20-something fucking years.
You ain't lying. It don't seem like we really good at war. I'm trying to think of the last war we won? Was that the Iraq war?
Yeah, for the most part.
For Afghanistan, that wasn't a loss. I don't want people to look at that as a loss. Me breaking in your house and staying for 20 years is not a loss. Eventually, when your kids grow up, one of your kids, Pookie, Tommy, Mike, gonna be like, Mom, your boyfriend gotta go. This nigga eating up all the Fruit Loops. This nigga just on the couch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, the nigga gonna have to go. Right? And that's all it was. Eventually, like, you know what? You don't have nothing else for me to steal. Like, see this, and this is what I'm saying. Like, it was an underlying thing. And when me and RBR was cool and shit was good over there, I always used to talk about this. It was an article in the Wall Street Journal, little article. And the article said $4 trillion worth of unnamed minerals contracts was given to 4 companies to mine $4 trillion worth of unnamed minerals. Think about that. Right? Shit that they don't even name. Because all Afghanistan is it's an asteroid underneath there that's powerful as fuck, and them Afghanis know it, and the rest of the world know it, and the empires want at that shit. I don't know, it's vibranium. I don't know what the fuck it is. But they want that shit. They want that shit. And they keep going in there trying to get that shit. And we've been there for 20 years, you know, trying to extract it. And we got most of what we're going to get out of it.
That's crazy. Damn, 4 trillion. Unnamed. Too.
Damn
That's
sure got control of the poppy fields.
Yeah.
And the opioid market.
And look how cheap dope is now. And why you think opioids is the number one addicting thing in America, right? All you got to do in order to understand what's going to be the next addiction, just follow where America goes in. In the 80s, we was in South America. What was the addiction? Cocaine. Right?
Cocaine.
Then in the 90s, we really didn't go for it. We didn't have, you know, criminal gangster presidents. We had oil barons, right? We had the butchers. So where we go? The oil lands, oil fields, right? Then we move on. We get another gangster. We go into the poppy fields.
Yeah,
now the thing is, America is going to cripple themselves, you know, and they don't. And see, I gotta holler at old boy with his network, old real brother. They go cripple themselves because we too damn cocky. Now we, you know, especially if we start a little beef with China. Right now, we ain't go. You know, give you a little idea. We will never get those sales back for the soybean market, which China had, you know, purchased 65% of our soybeans. Those farmers are going to be on welfare for a long time. You know, they ain't going to never get that back. Kind of like back in the days when Reagan was, well, I'm not sure Reagan, whatever, when the farmers they stopped subsidizing the farmers to overproduce shit. America in general, just some sellouts for the money. And that's going to come back to bite them in the ass, you know. So we lost a lot of respect as a world power with the Trump shit, because now we look like a fucking joke. If your leader look like a joke, they think of us as one. So it's gonna be, you know, they making moves. We can't even pass a damn infrastructure bill.
No, we passed the infrastructure bill. We can't pass other shit after that. We passed the infrastructure bill. We can't pass the Build Back Better shit that will help everyday people. Like the infrastructure bill is to put money in white construction workers and all that shit. That shit is more like a trickle down bill, you ask me. But the Build Back Better, which would go more to the community and be more to the individual American citizen in comparison to like job programs, which the infrastructure bill would be. That's what we can't pass.
Let me ask you this. See, this is my issue, and I'm a registered independent. See, this is my issue with both sides. They try to cram everything in at one time. It's like you can't cram every social program that you tried to you ever wanted to pass at once. You know, and I know the right side is they just pushing that shit because they got money behind them. You know, like daycare and aftercare. Okay, well, you know, you got to deal with the COVID situation and things like that first. You know, we still haven't even gotten that relief yet, if I'm not mistaken. So when they put in that pork in these bills, that holds up a whole lot of stuff.
I think they do that because they don't know if they're gonna win that next election. I think they try and stuff as much stuff in so they can just get whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever they can.
Both of y'all right.
They can.
Both of y'all right. Both of y'all right.
You know what I mean?
And so therefore little or nothing actually gets done. And the way it's going now with politically, it's just gonna be a stalemate both sides. They ain't gonna work together no more. Trump, that mentality got a hold on it, and you could tell with white American society, they good with going to pulling for Russia type of thing. They really will pull back, and I think that's out of fear. And don't forget,
it's out of whiteness. It's out of fear, but it's also out of whiteness. Like,
right.
And that's the thing I try to implore people. Like, really look at this from a cultural perspective, right? From a civilization perspective. It's okay for us to look at it from a resource perspective because that's what we're used to empires doing, going into nations and extracting resources to further empower the empire, right? We're used to that. That's the American way, as we would say, right? But I want us to, in 2022, I want us to look at it culturally a little bit because of the demographic change that's coming out of Asia and Africa, right? Where in 10, 15 years, those countries are going to have cities that have 40, 50 million people in it, right? Imagine some cities in Africa, Nairobi and in Kenya and all that, they're going to have like 40 million people living in cities. 40 million black people. All those people are not going to survive in those cities. So what they're going to do, they're going to do what all living beings do. They're going to spread out. And you know where they're going to spread out to? The closest locations in Europe and Asia, right? Like some of them are going to make it to America, but the majority of them are going to go right there. Look how many stories we hear about boats capsizing in North Africa or in the Mediterranean Sea, because those Africans, whether they're Northern Africans, whether they're West Africans, whether they're Sub-Saharan Africans, they're all trying to get to Europe to get to education, to get to cosmopolitan, to get to cities, to get to jobs, to get to better lives, right? Mm-hmm. So I want us to look at it from a civilization standpoint to understand that these once white dominant European nations, they were all white, and now they're slowly either dying or they're slowly either becoming multicultural, and that's a detriment to them.
Mm-hmm. This is what I believe. See, like you said, even if they're not flat out don't have the hate or the racist thing, they still have a sense of where they come from. That's why you see, dumb motherfuckers like Trump up there talking about being a proud German. See, they got a sense of that where a lot of us don't have a link back, to their homeland. I'm from the South, so it starts with slavery. So I couldn't tell you what country I can take pride in. And like you said, their mentality as a culture will pull with their culture. That's why you had even though that this man was a fucking asshole last administration, they still got a record turnout of 73 million votes. Literally. And that's right. That's a record high, knowing this man is misogynist and all that extra shit with him. And he just a dumbass. Now, when I follow the stocks, the GOP go back him because they know he a puppet, but they go get all the tax breaks they want. Right. And that squeeze is coming.
Yeah. You're right on that. When Trump said grab him by the pussy, though, I just knew he was done. But once he was cleared out, I was like, oh, it's gonna take a miracle for this dude to lose, and he won, man.
Y'all know what Trump and Putin represent. One represent the white gangster, and one represent the white arrogant motherfucker.
Definitely.
And white people love that. White people love that. Yeah, They can't cheer Putin on because it will look bad to cheer on a motherfucker.
Well, they're doing it.
They were doing it a lot more up until the war began. When the war began, they said it the first couple days. Then when the media created that, when the government gave the media their talking points, it's hard to get around that. No matter how staunch Republican you are, it's hard to get around when the media is on one accord. When Fox, MSNBC, Al Jazeera, BBC, when they're all on one accord, getting all of their talking points from the federal government, it's kind of hard to go up against that, right? Because you're going up against a propaganda machine that's gonna win because it's saturating the airways with the same propaganda they used during World War II to demonize the Nazis. So it was a lot of people who were on the Nazi side back then, but eventually they had to recoil because it didn't look good in their regular life.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because it was funny when I heard like the Republicans kind of, I want to say they was big up in Putin, but they was kind of like initially when you yeah, we still talking about the war, Sugar Bum. Initially when the war started, they were kind of, I don't want to say in favor of Putin, but they were kind of saying, this is why he's doing this. But I would think 20 years ago that they would be outraged that Putin would be trying some shit like this. But like you said, it almost seems like they're going with it.
Yeah, they don't have no problem with it at all. They don't. And as a matter of fact, they mad at the sanctions. A lot of them are.
That's why I say it's white on white crime, y'all. We don't have a dog in this fight. Unfortunately, if it turns to World War III, we're going to be the first drafted. You know what I mean? The first put on the front line, or we're not going to just be pilots. There's no Tuskegee Airmen's going to pop up. You know what I mean? So we're just going to kind of be like, on the front line and in subservient, position. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think if that happens that black people are going to, I don't want to say, we're going to be drafted, but you think they're going to actually try and go to war? Or you think a lot of black people are going to resist that?
I mean, you can resist at your own peril. You going to jail. I mean, if you want to go to jail, you're still going to end up going eventually. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we'll be a long way from a draft unless we were attacked. But
if it's World War III, we're going to have a draft. There is not enough regular Army reservists.
Right. But let me ask you that: if they're going to be, you think World War III would come before a civil war?
Listen, wow, it's crazy that you say that. I always said that. I said the only thing, and this is before Putin invaded. You can check tapes on RBR. I always said this. The only thing that's going to stop us from avoiding a civil war is a world war. That's the only thing. The only thing.
Now, see, if they get in a civil war, which is here, and then I'll give that to RB too. See, that's what these races try to do here is try to they try to start a race war, like like South Carolina and Dylan Roof. They think that they'll hit a soft target and hope the blacks get riled up, and then that kind of shit. But like I told one dude, a white friend of mine, I said, man, y'all have a civil war, man. All black folks go do is stand back and look at y'all. Kill each other. Y'all can go against the fucking military if you want.
The civil war is going to be about us, though, Kev. That's the thing. The civil war between them is going to be about us, and it's really going to be a race war. And
here's my thing with it: if you got your Trump supporters attacking the establishment, they got to go against the military. As long as Trump is not in office, nobody is going to. If they try to make a move, that's why they need Trump so they can get shit established. Because you going against the military like these dumbass races here, and that's fine. Black folks just step out the way, pull together, and don't fuck with us. When we got the militia down here in Louisiana, all black. Oh, as long as you ain't fucking with us, y'all knock each other off. And see, throughout history, they realized that was one of their biggest mistakes. That's all they always say. Talk about how many soldiers that they lost in the first Civil War. They talking about white folks. How many their brothers and sisters they lost. That's why it was a travesty to them. But so if we got the military, the humanitarian shit on our side, then that comes with the government, so we'll see how that go. But if Trump in office, what Trump go do is try to empower all police and get a kind of like a little SS squad. You remember out there in Poland?
Hey, yo, I'm sorry, my bad, kid. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, went out there in Poland when he empowered some of these guys, like from Blackwater, the guy that he gave the
Betsy Ross, not Betsy Ross. What's her name?
Egg Prince. Egg Prince. DeVos, Betsy DeVos.
Yeah,
right.
Betsy DeVos.
That's her.
You remember there was zip tying people and throwing them in vans, and they wouldn't even officers, they wouldn't police or nothing. Those people are well funded now. They got all that kind of, they got weapons and all that shit, and they've been stockpiling since World War II down here in the South.
Hey, y'all notice? Pay attention to the police cars, right? Like when I was stationed in Germany, right? Germany don't have I was stationed in Bitburg, Germany, and you got Trier, you got other cities around it. Like they don't have local police. Like there's not a Trier police department and Bitburg police. It's the German Polizei, right? One unified police department. Pay it. Their police colors on their cars was green and white, right? Pay attention to America and watch how all police departments are now going to the same black and white color scheme. You could drive all around America and each police department had a different color. This town had this color. This town had that color. Pay attention to all the cities changing their police cars to black and white. Pay attention to that.
I hope Atlanta's still blue, but I want to say like Gwinnett might be black. Because like how it's set up here, there's a lot of little cities around.
It's going to slowly change, and that's so one day you're not going to be able to identify where that police department comes from. They're just going to be one unified force.
So you said it's almost going to be like a national police force.
Yes, it's already headed there. They just once they get the unification, the unity with the cars, and you won't be able to differentiate between this police department and that police department. Watch how it slowly, gradually takes place.
That's kind of scary, though. If you think about it, you can't tell which is which. Shit.
Well, that's one thing that's one reason why we got to pay attention and realize history can and will repeat itself.
It seemed like after Obama left, it went back 30, 40 years, man, really even 50 years.
Oh, yeah. Then people felt some kind of way when Obama was in,
I always thought that he would kind of be right in the middle because he's half black and half white. Like he's supposed to, I want to say the best of America, but he's literally the example of the melting pot. You know what I'm saying?
He brown. He brown. That ain't good for them. And then they see him as a black male, regardless if he's mixed.
See,
they see Kamala. They see Kamala as a black female. We might not see her as a traditional black woman, but they do.
See, this is the crazy part, right? For me, the election of Obama was a signal to the white world, like, oh shit, one day one of these motherfuckers could be the leader of our country, right? Like, think about this. London is the face of the white world, the face of the Anglo-Saxon brand, right? And the mayor of London is a Muslim. See, this is what Putin's war is about. Like when Obama became president, imagine all the white countries that called the white Republicans and was like, how the fuck did y'all let that happen? See, everybody's, no matter what country you in, right? Everybody wants to control the progress of their minority populace, right? They want to be the ones who say, okay, you can go to university now. Okay, you can lead this now. Okay, you can be the CEO of. They feel as though in our time, we could promote you to the next grade of civilization, right? So now that we're doing it in spite of them, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. Because I really believe when Obama became president, I really believe that white power structures was like, oh my God, how the fuck did y'all let them do that? How the fuck did y'all let him sneak through the cracks like that? And
I knew that. Well, he was the perfect person for that because he was charismatic. And then his wife was liked by quite a few. But if you go with RB said, not, even then, most white people voted the other way. And, and like this, and, they identify with a white leader. They still, even though if they didn't buck against it, they're still more comfortable with it culturally. It's a signal to them. And I mean, there's not much you could have said bad about the man. I mean, the worst scandal was his damn tan suit. Shit,
You ain't lying about that, bro.
Right.
You are not lying. Man didn't have any scandals compared to presidents before him or after him, man. And
Right.
they still, like you
I
said,
knew because I'm used to him. I knew there was gonna be backlash when Obama left office. I knew it was gonna be backlash.
because a lot of them was pissed about it, and they,
Right, because how the fuck can this black man represent the most powerful white nation man has ever seen? Like, think about how that looks to the groups that they're trying to subjugate. How did that look to the Asians? How did that look to the poor white nations? Like, man, y'all don't let a nigga take, like, because they all think we niggas. Like, it don't change. Like, the Chinese think we niggas, Thailanders think we niggas, Indians think, you know what I'm saying? So it don't change, right? It don't change how people perceive us. So they're like, damn, how you let this nigga get in charge? Now we're not going to be able to subjugate the lesser of us as easily now because they see y'all gave them hope. You know what I'm saying? We put Jesse out there for the hope, the false hope. Jesse was the false hope, and Jesse was supposed. Why do you think Jesse was like, I want to cut his balls off and all that? Because he took Jesse's job.
He so man, Jesse was heated at that
I
boy.
mean, he took his
he
job.
was mad with that. He was mad with that man.
He wanted to cut his ball. Think about that. He on Fox News talking, I want to cut his ball. Think about that. On the most racist.
But that go what you said earlier, eh? Some people don't like the fact that another one, black folks don't like the fact that another one's doing better than them. Instead of rooting the man on, you know.
But that's what I would think. Like if he's doing well, then I'm doing well. That's what I could potentially do. If anything, it should almost be a symbol that we can do anything. Like after Obama, I think there were no more excuses for black people. Like even if you know what I'm saying, you struggle, you still can make it. Like in America, it might be like a little bit.
I would
the hurdles might be a little bit
I
higher.
think there's still barriers though, conscious that excuses. I don't believe in them like you don't, because you got to get off that excuse shit because you can't progress with it, dude. But I do think there are barriers.
Yeah, definitely. There are definitely higher hurdles for us to jump over, but we can do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think we want, if not the best people in the best kind of race in the world, because you got to think about it. We had nothing, and look how much of a factor we are. I mean, to be taken away from your homeland and then be stripped of all that legacy and the knowledge of where you come from, and still to kind of come to America and adapt to it and then prosper. And I won't say prosper, but thrive in it at least, and still maintain. I mean, is an accomplishment, but I don't think a lot of black people really see that.
Right. Well, it's still what they fail to realize is still a young country. Slavery was only a great grandmother away from me. One of my great aunt was born into it. We just heard the stories. So with that kind of dominance of the people, it take a minute to come out of that, and they know that we coming out of that shit. Once we control our money and start getting together, now they got ceilings that they don't want us to cross, but Obama broke through that. That's like Mitch McConnell, and see, they don't see us as Americans. It's like Mitch McConnell saying, black people voted and just like Americans did. It's always separate to them, and so they always focus on us. But you learn more from one thing I always tell people: a lot of creativity comes from people when they're coming from the bottom. Most of these inventions and stuff like that, because you got to figure out a way to survive. And we good at that shit, Other than that, we wouldn't be here. It's like when you lose your job, you know how to pull resources, where to go stay and shit like that. I got upper middle class friend, they lose their job, they damn near ready to jump off a building, literally,
But see, that's the
it
thing.
Is what it is. But
my bad, kid. My bad.
No, I was done. Go ahead, bro.
That's what I think has to change. The idea of us just surviving, right? Like we got to learn to live now, And I think when whatever happens, the Civil War, the World War, when the dust settles, I think that'll be the appropriate time for black people to grab our collective lives by the balls and go forward. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of other groups are going to be trying to pick up the pieces of what just happened. Because this is literally white on white crime. So they're not going to have time to cater to us and baby us, and they're not. They're going to fucking leave, they're going to leave us in the rut. You know what I mean? It's going to be after the Civil War. The only difference is we're not going to be under hand and foot of them, so it won't be no Jim Crow. We're going to be fighting these people for resources. We're going to be fighting, and America is not the America of 1860. America is now a hodgepodge of every fucking nation on the earth, right?
And growing.
There's a citizen from every nation on the earth that lives in America. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't just black, white, Chinese, and a few Hispanics. It's everybody. So we're all going to be fighting for resources. And most of those groups don't fuck with us, right? And the only thing we're going to have over them is that we know the terrain. we can collect faster, right? Like they're depending on whiteness and white communities to survive. And when those communities fall the fuck apart during the Civil War, they're not coming to hang with us.
Hell no. And listen, and one of the things I noticed, going around the YouTube over the last few years, is we got to understand I know everybody talk about building wealth and stuff like that. I'm like, I was telling somebody, okay, listen, let's say you had an old man. Yeah, I know people that made over 6 figures, but my family still own 40 acres. If the guy lose his job, that can end, or you get a natural disaster. I've been through 2, so I know your job is only limited. When you, like in New Orleans, shit was closed for 3 months, you ain't making no money, so that can break you. But my family still has 40 acres still here. The family still has 3 homes and stuff like that. So even if I'm making 40,000, the foundation is set where my daughters and kids already have places to live with no rent if they wanted to. And if it gets real bad, we could pull back to the country. So establishing what people consider as value and wealth need to be done, because buying a Berkeley bag and Chanel don't mean shit.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Why do y'all think that Gucci and Nike are still so dominant in our community, especially with social media and how many black owned companies there are now? Like, why isn't there like a black Gucci or a black Nike yet? Why y'all think that is?
Oh well, you got Kanye West and that Jesus shit.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny through Adidas, though, right?
Yeah, even that's through Adidas. I think really because it's a complex answer for me, because I think it's just based off of like Kev said, America is a young nation, right? So even like America really don't, besides Polo, like America really don't have a high fashion brand, right? Like that's our high fashion brand, Polo, right?
Is that American? Yeah, I think that's overseas.
No, that's American. Ralph Lauren American.
I think they're American. I think they probably have like foreign relatives, but I think it was established in America.
Yeah, Ralph Lauren established in
America. And then like we don't.
Versace? I'm sorry, is Versace? I know you got
Italy. Yeah, they're Italian. You gotta watch that movie, House of Versace. That shit is crazy. So I think with the youngness of the nation and then the youngness of our freedom, I don't think that we've gained enough traction to merge ourselves in, because those fashion brands were made to separate from us, right? They were made to say you can't afford this because you're not European and successful, right? So that's what that is. I think when we establish ourselves as exceptional and we market to the world globally and black people globally that there's nothing wrong with being black, you don't have to want to be something else, you don't have to put your blackness down to be this, that, and the third. Like when we do that and it becomes globally accepted amongst black people that being black is something great and something to be proud of, I think then fashion, car industry, I think those industries will take off, because being proud to be black was just something that had its phase. It's not a continual thing. And integration and trying to get jobs and what you said, trying to get into the middle class, all those things will afford you the opportunity to put your blackness down so you can go get some paper, right?
Yeah. So that's why I give Arby all the prop on that. We can't date for some reason. He brought that to my attention. If we could connect with some African nations and have them build our shit, because they're not gonna let us get to that cheap labor like in Taiwan.
But they're gonna sell us out. They're gonna sell us out. The minute they have what we gotta understand is international people have a better relationship than black people, right? They have black Africans have a better relationship with other international people because they have something in common. They're international. And sometimes that supersedes their blackness. Right. So in him saying that, I really think they're going to sell us out. I really think you're going to have some factory motherfucker who's going to sell our designs to another motherfucker and be like, I don't know how it happened. The computer, somebody hacked my social media.
We were selling bootleg CDs and movies. So you're probably right.
I'm saying right. I'm saying, who was we getting them from? The Africans. You know what I'm saying? who was getting them from? The Russians. You know, the Russians run the fucking bootleg movie game. Check them Scream. When bootlegs first came out, that was Russian lettering down there. See,
Now
because
you know
Russia and China
my
don't have a
biggest
thing called. Go ahead, my bad.
the biggest issue with Russia is not them conscious with nukes. He not trying to. That's anybody launching a nuke. That's a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Right? He ain't trying to do that. You might
But
get Iran or some of these
But what's
mother
the bigger
countries that
suicide mission, Kev? Him letting America put him in check, or him making a net like all right, the Taliban, whoever, CIA, whoever knocked down the Twin Towers, knocked out our two front teeth. The Twin Towers literally were our two front teeth, right? And they knocked them out. They didn't knock us out, but they knocked out our two front teeth. So for him, yeah, I may not knock you out, but if I take one of your legs, if I take out LA, I take out the West Coast, I've pretty much made you a one-arm, two-leg bandit.
like in 300, you like your boy said, somebody said you can bleed. That's all I want to show. I think that was Anger Man saying. My thing is to make you bleed. Once people see you can bleed, then there's less fear, and they don't fear America like nowhere near they used to. You know, it turned into a joke. Even though we took over Iraq in 2 weeks, which is way bigger than the U.S., it's the turmoil within.
Right. See, and like I was there the first war. You know what I mean? The second war was just more or less. We need to put in who we need to put in because we can't keep Iran in check with the motherfuckers that we see. That if people want to know what Iran and Afghanistan was about, Iraq and Afghanistan was about that fucking vibranium underneath all those motherfucking rough terrain out there in Afghanistan, and Iraq was about we need a motherfucker in there that's going to help us keep a check on Iran. Think about that. They killed the second in charge of Iran on the border of Iraq.
Trump did that, trying to start shit with Iran. They don't like the Republicans. Don't like Iran. They can't stand them.
And guess what? And the crazy part about it is the name Iran is a ode to Aryan, to whiteness. Like that's what real talk. Look it up. That's where it comes from. It's an ode to whiteness. They call it Iran to thank the Aryans for saving them from the motherfuckers who did 300, from the crazy Persian motherfuckers who did 300. Because
to them, they still saying Negroes.
Right, because well, the thing is, Iranians are not Arabs; they're Persians. They're not Arabs.
Yeah, see, they know their history, like you were saying.
They're not. You know what I mean? They're not Arabs, so they have a different cultural perspective. But the umbrella of Islam, right? The Sunni, Shia, different sects of Islam, right? That's where they found uniformity. So if you have Iranians and Iraqis that have some Islamic coalition and coordination, that's a detriment to America because now I can't keep Iran in check. Because
here's my thing as far as the nuclear thing with Russia. The immediate threat for us ain't Putin out there throwing nuclear threats out there or just mentioning it. Like the problem is they've been hacking our ass for 4 years now. The hacking is a real thing. Them people can, and we haven't addressed that. We haven't beefed up our security. And like someone was saying, China and Russia are the top hackers in the country. And you can't move forward with them having that kind of access to shit. And ain't no telling what secrets Trump then gave Putin, because he definitely gave the top secret shit for Iraq. But, and this man still holding documents from the White House. Putin got something on Trump, and my personal opinion, everybody got one, is when Trump was over there with them Miss-teen Russian pageants with them 15, 16-year-olds staying in one of the main Russian hotels, they got something on his name. He's easily controlled, so, and that's the thing. And I think he just got the love of Germany in his blood. That's why the motherfucker came out there talking about his daddy was born in Germany. No, your daddy was born in the United States and got arrested at a Klan rally in Washington in 1920.
No, that was his grandfather. That was his grandfather.
Right. Well, no, yeah.
Who was a German citizen. He got arrested in Queens. That was his grandfather, not his dad. That was his grandfather.
Right. And so they still have that German pride and
Yeah,
blood from their
Trump
motherland.
ain't nothing but Trump. And they had
Right.
to change it because they was fucking Nazis. In order to make it in America, they couldn't be seen as fucking Nazis.
Right, right. You know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead, AC.
Go ahead, bro. This your channel. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's kind of funny that we invented the internet and yet we have no control over it anymore. That's what I was thinking when y'all was talking about Russia.
Well, we invented it, but the internet was actually invented in the army, in the military. It was invented for battle. It was invented for doctors. It was invented to give surgeons the ability to do surgery and get information from another place. And then it was also for logistics, because that's what I did in the army. It was also for logistics to be able to mass order and get like materials and resources to different places, but collect them from other places, because our system was connected to a whole interweb of other systems. So like, if for instance we have priorities, right? It's 1 through 10. So if you looking for a muffler or something, that's like an 8 or a 10 or 8 or a 9, right? But if you're looking for like a missile card, or you're looking like a SIM card, or you're looking for like a radar card for Patriot missiles or something like that, or different springs for rockets, for MRLS rockets, those go under 1 through 5. So if you put it out there, I got a priority 5 part I need, and you put it in the system will send a signal out to other units. They be like, hey, I got 5 on hand. I only need 4, so I'll send you 1. So you will get that part. It'll go through a whole system, and then that part will come through you. So the actual true internet was like something that Al Gore helped that black dude in the military put together to bring to the world.
Okay. Okay. I heard. I don't know why I thought we invented it. I mean, you know,
well, black dude is kind of the person who created the 1 and the 0 to like make it pop, like to
right. They got black folks in there. Yeah, definitely.
He was the one who kind of was like, all right, we can do it this way, and that, you know, and Al Gore and others put their oomph behind it. But his springboard was the military. Like the military used his technology. You know what I mean? Because everything you see is tested there first. Like the Ford, GMC, all these are military companies, right? They were FedEx, UPS. They're all spinoffs of something that happened in the military, right?
Right.
UPS, FedEx is logistics, right? That's flying supplies.
Yeah, and I worked for UPS 17 years, right? So yeah, that's all logistics.
Yeah,
but you know what I do though, and conscious, like you saying, the military always get the information first. And like me, I've been on the stock game from the early 2000s. So what I would do in my research is look at what military contracts coming out. They also have, they got a foam aid that they can put into a wound in the battlefield. There's a company that make that, to protect the wound. Also Teflon, they're making the clothing out of Teflon. And you also have, right now I'm researching the company that got the contract for military drones, right? And that's how I make my when the military invest in it and they lock in, they go put that to work. Just like every government to do that. Like you'll see a bunch of Ford was going out of ain't selling really too many cars like they used to. But you best believe most police forces will order Ford cars. Right. So when you get that government contract money, and that's what I look for, because they're coming out with the first technology. They're going to actually have military attack drones. China already working on it.
Yeah, that boss. Can you still invest in Boston Dynamics? Are you familiar with that company, Kev? They making a robot dog and what else they making? And even the mechanical.
Right, and then they also got
some shit. Or no, New York
got an exoskeleton too. They got an exoskeleton for that make humans like 10 or 30 times stronger. Right. So
yeah, I see that.
Right. So even if I don't know if you can invest it in, I'll look it up on the open market, because some of these be private companies.
Okay.
Kind of like you can't invest in the NFL. That's just their shit.
Right.
You can't invest in Chick-fil-A because they didn't bring it to the public trading market.
Right.
Well,
so it has to be publicly traded before you can invest in it.
Right.
Yeah, they don't. Chick-fil-A don't.
You can still invest in one. You just got to find out, like let's say you want to invest in Chick-fil-A before it got popular. You, with your money as an investor, has to find out and go to their website as an investor. You know, they're you know, like some of the big boys, they'll escort them around and then they'll let you buy in, but it's their choice.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Right. You can still get it. You just got to find it. Like these startup company, you can still do that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Would
but it's
you,
up to them.
Kev, would you invest in the American government? Can't you buy bonds and stocks from the American government?
Never buy bonds right now because the interest rate ain't right. You know,
Okay.
right now the bank giving you, and see, that's what my stock game was about. I call it a dusty portfolio. Right. The government, and it's not to get rich when you're doing that stock investing. It's to make more money, more interest on your money than the bank is giving you.
Okay.
If Exxon and Valero is giving you 4 or 5% return interest every quarter, you know, the bank is giving you 0.04 cent on a dollar. Well, shit, you might as well put your money in Exxon and not only get the love of the growth of Valero, but also get the dividends. And when the stock is down, companies pay more dividends. A lot of people don't realize that, to try to keep you to go in and holding your money there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into the dividend market now. Like once my season start back up, I want to get into it. But I ain't really fucking with no stocks because the stock market suck right now. I'm definitely not fucking with crypto because that suck right now. And I want to revert back to 2 points. When you asked earlier, Khan, about like Russia and crypto, right? Like what's happening is what they want to do is kind of flip their money that's being, you know, sanctioned. They want to kind of flip it to crypto, but the only problem with that is that whatever currency they try to flip it to is what's being squeezed as well. So they're trying to figure out how to, you know, take it through lyrium and flip it and bring it through this and bring it through that, and because they can't bring it back to rubles. That shit is nothing right now. So they can't bring it back to rubles. And to Kev's point about, you know, the nukes, I think for us, we don't want to think about nuclear war, but we've never been in a situation where our culture and our civilization is going to be overran. We've never been in that situation before. So for somebody that's in, like, everything behind Putin doesn't look like him. Everything in front of him is beginning to not look like him. So if you have 11 time zones to worry about and any of those time zones don't look like you already, because see, that's the thing we got to understand. It's nothing but mongoloids once you get past a certain part in Russia. Like those people have particular tribal names, right? Like they're not like, you know, they have history that can go back 30, 40, 50, 60,000 years. And in some places, it's only like 500 or 600 of them left, right? And they consider, you know, they live in Russia. Like it's a lot of, man, like the history of your Asia, like Russia, China, Korea, that shit is so fucking deep. I mean, but it's so tribal, right?
Yeah. We as Americans black folks can't fathom that kind of history. You know,
I love it. I dig so deep in that shit, like Ukraine, and I dig deep in that shit.
Right. I told somebody one time, I said, and they were like, they was talking about, you know, World War I and Hitler. I said, well, listen, you got to remember, them people, the Jays, you know, had messed over the Germans before and won after that war. And then the Germans came back with a vent, you know, like, and he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And one of my Jewish friends, like, no, you know, they don't want to admit certain things, man. It's like I post on FB one time. I said, you know, they was talking about Israel. I'm like, well, why are we helping Israel? Why we got to give Israel 1.3 billion? They got money. They got the Iron Dome, eh? That's gonna protect the shit out you, you know.
Right. But you know why go ahead, my bad, kid, my bad.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, at the time of COVID and we need our change, they got the Smithsonian and shit and some damn, you know, L community research, and, you know, just putting all that shit in. But, you know, I was like, you know, so when I post that, and I talked to one of my friends who was Jay, and I was like, well, listen, man, I'm not trying to give my tax dollars to help them, man. Y'all got enough people here to fund y'all own shit. I get the location, man, but I feel some kind of way about that, and you're messing over them shit.
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing. We got to look at Israel as Fort Israel. Israel is nothing but a fortress for us to keep our eye on the Middle East. Like, we got to start playing the geopolitical game in the black community. We got to understand this chessboard that we live on. Like, I know under the thumb of America, it's hard when you got to feed your family, you got to do shit. It's hard. Like, you don't want to think about that shit. Like, a lot of people don't, black people don't want to think about geopolitics. They don't want to think about politics. They just want to, they want to have fun on vacation, party and bullshit. Like Big said, party and bullshit. But sometimes life comes at you fast, right? Very, 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 very fast. And when you're not white and you're not fighting for a civilization, you're not paying attention to the strife that they're going through. So now here we is, fast forward February 2022, we have a new European. Think about that. There's a major war in Europe right now. Right now. Motherfuckers is getting bombed. Apartment buildings are getting bombed out. Motherfuckers is fucked up in the game right now, right? And black people, we're over here like chilling. We still going over here. We're not thinking about World War III. We're not thinking about the repercussions of this. Because, you know, we got a crazy motherfucker like me talking about this white on white crime. I just want to see a good fight, right? That's just me being, you know, facetious. But deep down inside, I know that this is history, living history, and it can turn into very perilous times for all citizens. That's why I want people to stop, you know, thinking that this nuke thing is just some, you know, some pump fake. It's not a pump fake. It's not.
It definitely is real as fuck.
It's not a pump fake.
You're right on that. And I'm not too, I mean, I don't want to say geopolitics. I try and stick with politics in America. I need to maybe expand my geopolitics a little bit, but you're right.
That's how I'm gonna make my channel. Like, so we can come, I'll come over here and we can talk about old heads and bullshit. But my channel, we're gonna talk about that deep shit. We're gonna get deep. Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah. Did you say Jacques Cousteau?
Fridays where I'm at.
I like that one. I like that. Yeah, man. That's a good conversation. But you're right. I do think black people need to expand our mind on start thinking more substance rather than facade. But it's gonna be hard, man. We so wrapped up into materialistic things, man. And I think we have a track meet mentality instead of a marathon. You know, we don't really plan for things. We just kind of react to them, unfortunately. Is that me? Y'all here? Y'all still there? Can anybody hear me in the chat?
Yeah, I'm still here. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying. I think AC right. But how do we change that though, man? Like, how do you get black people to focus on things outside of America?
One thing I try to implement with my kids, man. Since they took it out, I try to teach them myself personally. You know, everything from morals to civics and stuff like that. Like right now, my daughter's 10, and they about to start learning about the Civil War. Now I'm gonna pay attention to that because I'm gonna make sure she know the whole true story of that. You know, now that we can look this shit up and put the shit together, we could teach our own kids as opposed to just relying strictly on sending our kids to school and learning what they learn. You know, how they want to teach our kids. Right. That's like, you're getting teachers now, Trump supporting ass teachers now don't want to teach certain shit and stuff like that. So that's one thing. And just keep the pressure on. So, and then start getting our kids prepared for the global market. That's the problem. And that's America's downfall. While we beefing with each other, we started getting dumber. You know,
you are not lying about that one. It seems like but that's the most fascinating thing to me. Like, especially with the advent of technology, like how are we getting stupider? But you're right, we are getting stupider.
Well, that's because you seek whatever you're looking for. If you want to go and get on YouTube and change your alternator and you never have to worry about it, that's one thing. Or you want to learn Spanish, stocks, how to do better with your kids. You can look for that. Or if you just want to go to the gender war and hear motherfuckers cuss each other out for the next 30 minutes, you can do that too. Up to you. You know what I mean? Shit, the internet can be your friend, or you could be locked into World Star, like my little cousin them. Yeah, what else you use your phone for other than World Star? Girls fighting and people fighting in the middle of the street shit. Everything you need to learn, you need to move forward is in your hand. and we ain't had that.
Yeah, we had encyclopedias.
Right. You can go to school you can go to college from home.
Yeah.
That's insane. You know, even Xavier University got home classes, Tulane, Spelman, shit like that, junior colleges. Now I will tell you what hurt us a bit down here, Conscious, and I think of in other places. I'm a 70s baby, but when they got rid of the trade schools.
Oh yeah.
Right, that was a big problem. Cemetery, welding, shit like that, and road constructions, and that became a big problem in New Orleans. They got rid of that shit. I had to drive an hour out the city to the white folks area, the country white folks, just to get my CDL.
That's crazy.
And we got a big ass city with plenty of flat land now. They just starting to get that back, man. And for the fellas, that's instant. And I try to tell people when they talk about, men as a collective, look, they went 20 years without that shit. So that would put, one of those jobs will put you automatically in a middle class salary. Especially if you're young, by the age 25, you're in a middle class salary. A lot of people don't even understand $30,000, $40,000. That's middle class, especially if you're single.
Right.
So, and like Max and Max make money. My brother on the road make good money, man. So that CDL keep a youngster out of trouble. He can make good money. You can't steal shit. What you gonna steal? A damn boat transmission? It's a big ass truck. And you can establish yourself like that,
Yeah, they did take a lot of the trades. I want to say the last trade as I was graduating that they took out was the auto mechanic.
Right. That's good.
Well, they took them out because they needed them for mediocre white people.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't need us to see they're just they don't want to level the playing field. Like when we was into that shit, that's when we was in an industrial nation, so it was enough jobs around for everybody to get them. Now the trades are kind of become more specialized. Like people live in new houses now, so you got to understand the digital part of it. The pipes and shit ain't the same. Shit is different. Shit is got technology. So those white people make a lot of money being plumbers and all that. They can't compete with those Asians with computers and shit like that. Those Africans and those Asians.
Here's my thing, Abe. By me living in New Orleans, and you got places like New Orleans, Detroit, and shit like that that's really ran by black folks. I hold them more accountable because motherfucker, y'all not doing right. And that's the problem. When they got control of the money and shit like that, they did that. That wasn't white folks here. New Orleans was 80% black, 60% now. It was 80% black, and they didn't do that. With a economy of tourism that was continuous year round. With all our events, Super Bowls, and stuff like that. People just come here, Mardi Gras, stuff like that, jazz. With a little steady economy, but they sell out.
Do you think it was like you said with your aunt earlier, when you get to that certain plateau, you don't want other people to get where you at, so you kind of keep them at the bottom?
Yeah,
so you can remain on top.
Like we call it, they arrived, and and that's cool and everything, but you got to do right by the people.
Yeah.
Like we got politicians here, like Ray Nagin, our mayor, made a deal after Katrina. Could have been a great symbol for black folks. This motherfucker here take a kickback on granite countertops from some dude in Texas that pimped his ass. Some white boy flew his wife on a jet. They was impressed. He was already a millionaire, but they don't understand. You can't steal federal money. The Fed's coming at you. So he got charged with 21 counts of fraud because he got all the complete lock. Only his sons can sell a granite countertop in the city is what the deal was, and he got a cut off. With all the black people in this city who could have used that cheap granite countertop and stuff like that, and he got convicted on 19 counts.
How much time did he do? Or did he did he do any time off of that?
He's still
I know he got charged. He's still in there?
Yeah, he's still in jail.
Damn, that's crazy. That's a fall from grace like a mug, ain't it? But New Orleans mayor's been like that. I know, maybe it wasn't. I'm thinking of some other New Orleans city. What was that?
It was. Look, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let you go. Got to let my daughter do the Minecraft thing. I got her on too. Them kids can make money. They want to play video games, and you get them in the Minecraft algorithm. You go get some views. Because they stay on this shit.
Yeah, I was thinking about switching up the gaming for a little bit too, man. Because you're right. Every time I go to a gaming channel, it's at least 400-500 people in there.
Yes, that's the young man. I be playing Call of Duty. I'm old school. They just call me old school, right?
Right.
So they do their thing. But that we also had another guy, just like Detroit, another guy who was in City Hall who got $10,000 kickback for a parking space right by the Superdome, which is prime real estate. Sold it to some Indian folks for, voted for 10,000. When you could have gave that to a youth group, and that money ain't gonna never stop the Indian family straight.
Right.
They good. They ain't had to get a property up or nothing. But you could have did well by the people. The old mayor about 50, 60 years ago, when New Orleans, about 60 years ago, New Orleans was developing at the same rapid rate as Atlanta. They asked Atlanta mayor, what was the difference between y'all city, which was black control, and New Orleans? He said, we ain't steal the money. That was his answer. And he said when they had affirmative action, when they built the airport, they made sure 25% of the employees
That's what
worked at the
did it.
airport.
The fact that they set aside those jobs for African Americans.
Right.
That's
New Orleans ain't do that shit.
Jackson's strategy for making Atlanta what it is today worked perfect. That's why it's called the Jackson Hartsfield Airport.
Yeah,
like the most busy airport damn near in the world.
It is. No, it's the busiest. It was like the last year. Last year was the busiest airport. I don't know about this.
So that you had shit like that. While these sorry ass dudes down here didn't do shit. They just stole the money.
Yeah,
I think that comes with education. I think that comes with education and culture. I really do.
Could
I
be.
really do. I really
Well,
think.
hold on, but see, this was also a comparison. They had Spelman and Morehouse, and Clark back then. We have Xavier and Dillard. You see what I'm saying?
But you can't compare Morehouse, Spelman. Xavier and Dillard are great schools. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to knock any HBCU, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just it's a tier underneath Spell, and not just education as far as the institutions, but the people who were providing the services and the strategies to take Atlanta to the next level. Those people had a particular
they had a commitment,
a particular culture, and a particular education. Maynard Jackson got the best.
And I get what you're saying on the HBCUs, but you know the ones that did all the fucking stealing went to those schools. You see what I'm saying? Because then they took advantage of our less, like you said, New Orleans is very poorly educated. They just ran with the shit and just left everybody hanging. So that's the thing with that. We got to hold our black people accountable more so than anything. So I can't get mad when some of these people be saying, well, these Democrat black states are the worst ran. Yeah, that's because they stealing from our ass. So I hold them more accountable than white folks. I know what they're about. But when you steal from poor blacks or blacks that need a helping hand, you fucked over generations. And I let them know when I go to these city hall meetings. Give you another example. New Orleans police force, 60% black. NOPD, what y'all seeing on TV ain't shit on NOPD. Obama sent down Eric Holder, and he had on record that NOPD in New Orleans had more constitutional violations than recorded in American history. And that's what black police chiefs and shit. Right? More killings. Right? Our jail system was inhumane. And it's been that way. 15 people in the size of your living room for years. Stop and frisk was normal. 5 years for 2 nickel bags of weed. They put more motherfucking niggas in jail just as quick as white folks on the outside.
But that's the state of Louisiana, though, Big Kev, right? Like,
but let's take this. Let's take this because you've got a lot of dudes incarcerated, right? I mean, they just maximize the system here. Let's take this. You ever notice, like, we got a lot of brothers in prison, wrongfully in prison. You ever see some of these well-educated blacks, male or female, try to get them people out? Or do you see some little Jewish group that try to get them out? They just leaving them dudes in there, even wrongfully convicted. So we pushing out all these lawyers and nobody trying to help the dudes that got screwed over. That's a problem.
Yes. Hopefully
they're taking the education and running with it, not necessarily helping.
It seemed like it's so bleak for us, but I hope it changed. I hope it changed, man.
Well, look, let me get out of here, man. Good talking to you, bro. I'm gonna get
Yes,
back.
sir, man. I appreciate the pull up, man.
Always. All right, good talking to you, Egg.
He must be gone. Hey, see
No
you still.
doubt, Kev. No doubt, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you got planned for the rest of the night, AC?
About to lay my ass down, man. I got this fucking old head cold, man. It came back, man. This shit had me down for a month and a half in January, man. I just be going outside sweating, man. I be working and shit, then go outside and sweat and shit. That shit crazy. Man, I'm fucking sick again. Stressed the fuck out, so I'm gonna lay my ass down.
Man, get you. You know what a hot toddy is, don't you?
I don't really like brandy, but I think I might have to make it one.
Yeah, man. Get you some honey and lemon, man. But the trick is, man, when you boiling it, you got to stand over it for a little bit. Get
Yeah,
some
I'm
of the
about to
vapors.
turn this motherfucking humidifier on right now, man. I don't know why the fuck I keep getting the same motherfucking cold, man. Cause I be sleeping by the window and shit, man. I just be doing all kind of wrong shit, man. Dry,
Probably snoring, mouth wide open. And
wide open, window open. You know what I'm saying? Nigga wake up the next day. You know how that shit be all fucked up. You gotta go downstairs and get yourself together. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, bro. So I'm gonna just chill the fuck out, drink me a gallon of fucking orange juice, pop about 10 more motherfucking Sudafeds, and try to get this thing going, man, so I can get to work on Monday, because I can't be down another month and a half like I was in January. I ain't doing that shit. I was sick from Christmas, I was sick from like December 3rd to about January 14th or 15th, bro. Literally.
damn.
Literally. Every single day. Literally. And it got bad. At some points, it got really bad where it was like, damn, is this shit gonna kill me? And it wasn't even COVID. Like, I had 2 COVID tests, both of them negative. That shit had me fucked up, bro. And now I feel like that shit has come back. Like, god damn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do sound a little stuffy there, buddy.
Hell yeah, man. Super stuffy, man. So, yo, man, thanks for letting me come up, man. This was real dope, man. Real dope, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate, man. You know, you always welcome over here, man. I appreciate the pull up, bro.
No doubt, man. No doubt, bro. I appreciate the love, man. Yo, you have a good night, man. Be safe.
All right, man. When you gonna start broadcasting?
I dropped one. I'm gonna start next week, man. I'm gonna try to come, like, maybe we can line this up where, you know, after he go off, then I come on, then you come on, and we just grow it like that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Just let me know.
Build a team and go out like that. Just try to bring Psycho on, and, you know, try to get Psycho to come on late night, because he do better late night. And then
Definitely, man. Just let me know.
Mo, you know what I'm saying? Have a team, man.
Yeah, we definitely need to start doing that, man.
No doubt. All right, bro. Be safe, man. Enjoy your night. Everybody,
man, you
be safe, man. One love, everybody.
All righty, we about to shut it down here in a sec. But man, I appreciate the pull up. It has been one of the best shows I've had. It's getting better and better, man. So I just want to thank y'all all for coming on out and supporting your brother. But before we go, make sure if you have a channel, drop it in the link before you guys leave, and make sure that and make sure that everybody going to support everybody's channel so we can all grow, and hit the likes and hit the subscribe buttons on everybody's joint. All right, y'all have a safe night. Y'all make sure y'all learn something every day. I appreciate y'all for coming up, man. And hopefully we're gonna start doing this more consecutively and consistently, and start making it happen. Start trying to, learn a little bit more. Not saying we know everything, but just learn a little something, man. All right. So y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. Appreciate you.